Welcome to Fresh and Uncooked. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeff.
This is the food podcast to listen to, learn about new products, menu items, general food discussion, food reviews, taste tests, and what, Jeff?
Soup.
Today's topic is soup. It's Thanksgiving week. It's starting to get cold. It just feels like the perfect time to talk soup, right?
I hear that soup is good food.
It is. But first, coming up in food news is... Well, we don't have food news this episode because it's Thanksgiving. But if you're looking for food news, then we suggest following us on social media. If anything interesting is happening, we're always retweeting it, talking about it, stuff we've tried, videos on recipes. I mean, I think we're worth a follow.
Why not?
Just Fresh Uncooked on the Twitter machine, on Instagram, we're over on TikTok as well. Fresh Uncooked Podcast on TikTok. And that's your food news. So, soup. Sometimes it just seems so simple, but it's one of those things you have soup and it's like, oh my God, this is just heaven.
I love a good soup.
You're at a restaurant and you're like, should I get some soup? Yeah, I'll get some soup. And then you have the soup and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I got the soup.
Right. And you think to yourself, oh, I should have got the bowl instead of the cup.
Yes. So I make a lot of soup at home. There isn't much soup from a can from me.
I think that's a good thing. Soup from a can is pretty gross.
I got to say, it's probably one of my favorite things to cook is soup.
Wow.
And you got your broth, you got your veggies, some herbs, probably a protein, maybe a pasta or some rice. It's like, I don't know. Soup is like turning water into something very flavorful and like comforting.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
Plus, soup is a good chance for me to use one of my favorite kitchen gadgets, Jeff.
And which one is that?
The immersion blender.
Oh, I should have known.
Canned soup is gross, but there is one canned soup that I will get down with multiple times. If I got a cold, it's the go-to for me. Automatic. If I'm making grilled cheese, it's right there on the stove too. Oh, so comforting to me. And I'm loving that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not sure I could recreate it. And honestly, I don't think I would want to, Jeff. That's Campbell's tomato soup.
Oh, no.
One of your favorites.
No, thank you.
That's the only canned soup that makes a comeback and keeps coming back. It's just,
okay.
It's comfort food. It's something I grew up on. Something I love. It's like Kraft macaroni and cheese, you know? Kraft macaroni and cheese isn't great macaroni and cheese.
No, it's not. But it's delicious.
Just like Campbell's tomato soup.
See, you lost me there.
Do you like any canned soup though? Is there one
any
that you
wouldn't
mind at least? Oh, it's the only thing for lunch, I guess.
Oh yeah. You know what? But I think you have to go
Campbell's
like
chicken
chunky
noodle soup.
Oh, that stuff just makes my skin crawl.
That's wrong.
Oh, yeah. Any of the chunky soups are pretty good. I think for the most part, I think they're better than the.
No.
If you get Campbell's soup, just regular Campbell's soup.
All right. Oh, you're saying it's better than that. Yeah, it's definitely more elevated. It's chunky. More usually big chunks of meat and potatoes in there.
Right.
Where Campbell's regular red canned soup is just
just garbage.
Speckles of stuff.
Yeah, like chicken soup, and there's maybe 3 pieces of chicken in there, and then who knows what else. It's just not good. I don't get it.
Yeah,
but
it's amazing
some
how
canned soup is
chewy
good.
That chicken is too. Those little bits of chicken are so chewy. Oh,
it can't be good. Yeah.
Let's not gross anybody out. We're talking. We want to talk good soups today.
But yeah, occasionally you get what you pay for, I think, when it comes to the soup, usually.
Now, I haven't had a chunky brand soup in probably quite a while, but I remember always being disappointed by those, but always like super hyped, like seeing the flavor. Like I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like, you know, you're most likely having like basically a meat and potato chowder, some sort of soup, like a cheeseburger soup. And it's like, oh, that sounds awesome. And then it's, to me, at least how I remember, it was never really that great. But
it's weird. It's just weird.
One thing about Campbell's tomato soup, I always make it with milk instead of water.
Okay.
A little creaminess to it.
All right. It's almost like a
bisque.
tomato bisque in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like tomato soups at all.
At all. Yeah. That's the only one I like. I mean,
not tomato basil. Do you like tomato basil?
Nah.
Yeah, it tastes like spaghetti sauce to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a marinara soup.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's November, so to me it's soup season. Like I usually don't have a whole lot of soup between April and October.
So soup is very seasonal for you.
It is. It is definitely seasonal. Just like grilling. And a lot of people look at me weird when I say I only grill like in the spring and summer. Like I'm not going outside in the winter in the snow and lighting up the grill.
Oh, that's the best time to do it.
Instead, I have soup season.
All right.
So that's just how I roll. I know. I kind of have my roster of homemade soups, and I try to add a new one every year. And what I want to try to make, or at least have, I don't think I've had a good one yet, is ramen. I'm sure you've had some good ramen soups, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, ramen soups, now there's the exception as far as soups that you can buy or whatever. And once again, you get what you pay for. You have to go to some different markets and stuff like that to get some better ramen, you know. But
Sure.
yeah, I love ramen. Ramen and pho, the Vietnamese version.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good stuff, man. Man, that is good. Had some for lunch today.
I gotta have me some good ramen one of these days.
It's good stuff. And there's something about like Asian soup. So here we go.
Yep.
We opened up Pandora's box.
Bring it. I knew this was your corner here, Jeff. So I knew that.
So when I get sick, I usually go to the Chinese restaurant, or I'll order from the Chinese restaurant. I don't go because I'm sick.
Right.
Either egg drop soup or hot and sour soup.
I've always been too nervous to try both of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't like eggs, maybe not the way to go.
As I get older, eggs just, I don't know, turn me off. But I would still eat. I would still try it. I don't know. I've always seen hot and sour soup and always seen egg drop soup. And it's like, I'll just get an extra egg roll, you know?
Yeah. And hot and sour soup, that is something, man, if you have a cold or you have like the flu or something like that, oh, it just does wonders. Those two are my sick soups or what have you.
Okay.
And then, a Japanese soup, a miso soup, I make that on the regular.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. It's pretty easy to make. I like miso soup a lot.
Is that red miso?
There's different colors and
right?
stuff like that. Yeah, the miso paste or whatever that you get, it's basically fermented soybeans. Mm-hmm. And they have them in different colors. But yeah, you can get miso paste and then you kind of boil that down with some fish stock. Okay. Dashi, I believe is what it's called. And there's different ways you can go about that. And then it's seaweed. Tofu's involved.
Okay. Seaweed, tofu. It sounded good. And then you said fish stock, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have that overbearing like fish taste.
But then you said tofu and seaweed, and you lost me.
Oh, it's good, man. I love it. There's something about Asian soups. Now, coming into this whole episode, I was just thinking about bisque and chowders and stuff like that.
Okay.
But man, when you started talking about ramen and all this other stuff, I just got a little bit more excited.
Well, let's go a little more traditional.
All right.
Cheddar broccoli. How do you feel about cheddar broccoli? So wait a minute. I forgot who I'm talking to. Do you like cheddar broccoli soup?
No, I do. Yeah.
Okay. I know you're not a fan of cheddar, and I know the lactose thing.
Yeah, but
we need a lactose sponsor, I think,
It depends, though. It's a weird thing. Sometimes some of the, broccoli and cheese soups or whatever are good. And sometimes the cream of soups are fine, too. And I don't have an issue with it. It's good. It's odd. It's odd.
Because those can be good soups. Now, cheddar broccoli soup's definitely one when I make it home. I get that stick blender out.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we've talked about this on the show before. Vegetables, I eat raw. Vegetables cooked, there's not too many out there that I'll eat. So broccoli obviously is cooked in cheddar broccoli soup. Mm-hmm. So to make up for that, it's blended, completely no chunks involved in my cheddar broccoli soup.
Oh, man.
That's how I gotta go. That's how I
All right.
go. But I love it. I love cheddar broccoli soup, but I hate broccoli. So it's kind of weird.
You don't like broccoli?
I like it raw, like on a salad. Oh, like broccoli and some ranch dip. Boom.
Yeah,
I'm there all day. But cooked, nah. That's not happening unless it's cheddar broccoli soup.
Yeah, eating things raw like that, that's the way to do it. It's healthier.
That's what I always say. It's healthier.
That's what I think going into it.
A soup that I just made not too long ago. One of my favorite soups to make. It's kind of a copycat from an Olive Garden soup. Zuppa Toscana.
Oh, okay. People love the Olive Garden soup and salad and breadsticks.
Oh, yeah, the soup, salad, and breadsticks. Yeah. We almost need to, I think we've done a salad episode. This is our soup. Did we do a breadstick episode? I guess we did a bread episode already.
We did, yeah.
So we kind of got it covered there. But Zuppa Toscana is the one with the Italian sausage, the potatoes, and the kale.
Probably the only thing that kale's good in, right?
I think that's probably the only time I really buy kale, to be honest. I've tried kale chips a few times.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it was cool to try, but then I was like, yeah, never doing this again.
Yeah, I'll have kale if it's mixed in with maybe 7 other greens.
What about French onion?
Oh no,
very popular soup.
I can't handle the onion.
You can't do the onion?
Yeah, you know how the French onion soup looks? Oh.
Well, usually I think that's why they throw a big piece of bread in there and cover it with cheese.
Right.
Because, it's not the most appealing looking soup. I make that at home. I'm still tweaking my recipe, but
okay.
I think French onion's a pretty solid choice if you can handle the onions and the cheese, and it's definitely got to be baked. You might as well go all the way with French onion.
Right.
Yeah, another soup on my roster, apple cheddar soup, which cheddar, which is a great fall soup. Yeah, basically chicken broth and apple juice almost is the base, 70-30 chicken broth to apple juice, potatoes diced up, apples diced up, toppings like bacon on your soup.
All right.
And I always make rye bread croutons. Dijon rye bread croutons to go on top of the apple cheddar soup with some bacon.
Wow. What kind of bougie soup are you making?
That's on my TikTok. You have to look at my TikTok to see the apple cheddar soup in action. Cooking with Chris YT, by the way. We'll check it out over there. Cream of chicken, like with rice, like a creamy chicken rice.
With wild rice. Cream of chicken with wild rice?
Wild rice.
You don't like the wild rice?
No, if it's wild rice, I'm gonna skip. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just give me the white rice.
Oh.
And I don't really like white rice. But I don't.
How can you not like white rice, man? It's just white rice.
Well, if it's mixed in cream of chicken soup, then it's fine. But
like shrimp fried rice or not shrimp fried, but how about
fried rice
chicken?
Is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but just like a scoop of rice on a plate, white rice. That's
not having it, huh?
Nah, definitely not wild rice. Oh my god.
Wow.
This one's a little fancy too. Maybe I'm getting too fancy on the soups. I said kind of regular soups and I'm pulling out things like lentil sausage soup.
Oh man, your soup game.
I love
top notch.
It's my favorite soup. It's my favorite thing to cook, man. I love making soup. So we're talking Spanish style chorizo.
Yo.
And green lentils. Very smoky, a little spicy, definitely warming you up kind of soup. That's like a January, February soup right there, man. That's hitting you hard. All right, something a little more simple, like a baked potato soup.
That's solid.
You getting down with baked potato soup?
Oh yeah.
It's basically like having a baked potato with
a loaded baked potato soup. Yeah, sounds better because there's more ingredients in there.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just figured that was a given, but yes, loaded baked potato soup, nice and creamy, nice and potatoey, and it's all about the toppings, just like a baked potato. Plenty of bacon, plenty of cheese, a little green onion, maybe some chive. That's just a bowl of comfort right there.
It's good stuff. How about chicken and dumpling soup?
That's just old school comfort right there.
Oh, it makes me feel like an old person, but I love it. It's delicious, man. It is so good.
Yeah.
All right, here's one. I don't know if you've ever tried this, and it's another one. And I'm sitting here thinking about soups, and I guess for lack of a better term, I like a lot of ethnic soups or whatever. Mm-hmm. Matzo ball soup.
Never had it.
Oh, man, it's good. Love me some matzah.
Yeah, I've never had matzo ball soup, but I've had plenty of like chicken noodle soup.
How about my daughter's favorite, pozole?
I have not had pozole. That's with the hominy, right?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've never had that. I would give that a shot, though.
An Italian wedding soup. I don't know how ethnic that really gets just because it has the name Italian in it, but Italian wedding soup is pretty good, too.
That's with the little meatballs, right?
Yes, yeah.
You think of like 10, 12 soups, and then you think of 10 or 12 more soups, and then there's 10 or 12 more soups, and then it just keeps on going. And then you go to a restaurant, and they got like 2 soups to choose from. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Oh, yeah. It's like you need to step up your game a little bit.
It's like vegetable soup and, some other lame soup. And it's
chicken noodle. Yeah, we have chicken noodle. Oh, get your chicken noodle out of here.
With chicken noodles, nothing wrong with chicken noodle.
Yeah, but sometimes they'll mess it up. They'll mess up chicken noodle soup. It's like water, chicken, carrots, and celery. And salt.
That would be a bad chicken soup. I make chicken soup probably the most. It's maybe every other week. But
it's a staple, man. You know what I mean? It's just good stuff.
I usually use like rotisserie chicken, like go with that instead of like cooking the chicken in the broth or whatever. I just usually go with the quick option.
Yeah.
But it is Thanksgiving, Jeff, so I'm sure you probably got some leftover turkey around.
Ooh.
That could be a good substitute,
Yeah.
Little turkey soup all of a sudden.
A smoked turkey would be even better.
Smoked turkey noodle soup.
I know.
Delicious. That sounds awesome. Carrots, onions, celery, lots of fresh herbs, good bread and butter on the side. That's another good part about soup because you got to have like some good bread on the side.
Or crackers? Are you good with the crackers?
Like oyster crackers?
Sure, why not? Those will work. Or saltines sometimes.
Yeah, my 84-year-old mom loves oyster crackers.
Oyster crackers are good.
I'd rather have the bread, but oyster crackers are fine. Yeah, sure.
When you get the extra package of oyster crackers at the restaurant and then you can take them home, let me tell you.
99 cents for a 2-pound bag, I think.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, but there's something about getting that extra package and it's like, oh, they gave me 2.
Jeff
you put it in your jacket right away.
If you do that. So a key to a lot of soups to me being a fancy soup guy, apparently.
You are the fanciest soup guy ever.
Is homemade stock.
Yes.
Because stock, let's face it, the broth is the biggest component in any soup.
Right.
Whether you're making your classic chicken noodle or you're going fancy with some apple cheddar soup, you gotta have good stock, and it's all about the bone. So I just wanted to go really quick over a good homemade stock thing, right?
Have at it.
So if you just made a turkey and you probably got a big carcass, a big bone sitting there, right? There's a lot of flavor in there. You could use that, but I usually just kind of go with like chicken wings. That's usually how I make my stock. It's like a couple of family packs, like at the store, you see the big packs of chicken wings. They're usually pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Fresh chicken, not like the frozen Tyson wings or nothing flavored. Don't buy buffalo wings and do this. Just get the chicken wings. They don't need to be cut into the flats and the drums. You obviously need time to make homemade stock, but it's so worth it. Have you ever done homemade chicken stock or beef stock?
No, I don't do that. I just buy the stuff that comes in the container.
The cans.
Yeah, and then it goes bad in 10 days.
Oh.
Usually.
Those are fine. I buy those a lot, but I always make a big thing of stock and freeze it for soup season. But you need a couple of big pots, and you might as well do a couple of big pots because it's going to take you all day to do this. So you might as well, it's going to take the same amount of time to make one big stock pot of stock than it would 3. So you might as well do 3 or 4, So you roast the wings in the oven, really high heat, like a sheet pan, olive oil. Roast the wings, throw like a couple of onions and carrots on there, garlic, roast all that, like 40 minutes. Then you throw all that in the pot. You scrape everything off the pan. You throw some herbs in there like parsley. You fill it up cold water all the way to top, and you just bring it to a bare simmer. 6 hours later, after you're going in there every half hour and kind of skimming off the scum off the top. 6 hours later, though, it's just liquid gold.
Oh, man.
Strain everything. You get some plastic freezer proof containers, like 8-ounce containers. You ladle those things up, you seal them up, you stick them in the freezer, and you're set, man. It's so worth it. It takes all day. It's like good barbecue, you know. You gotta spend the time, and you're gonna save a lot of money if you're making a lot of soup compared to like buying those boxes of stock, and you know exactly what's in it. It's a lot more nutritious, I think, too. So
wow, man, your soup game. I'm telling you,
my biggest tip for homemade soup is you gotta try the stock, even if you're just gonna do a little pot just to try it because you're a little nervous about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were like this with the soup.
Oh, like I said, man, soup's my favorite thing to cook. I think. I could be wrong, but I think. When I was prepping for this episode, I'm like, you know what? I think soup's my favorite thing to cook.
Wow. I need to step up my soup game, obviously.
I have not made homemade beef stock yet. That's something I haven't tried yet. But I don't use a lot of beef stock. I use a lot more chicken stock for my soups. So maybe I just need to find more beef soups.
Yeah, something with like barley, like a beef barley soup sounds really good.
Sounds hearty. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's just, man, that just sounds.
Maybe some short ribs.
Yeah.
Get let the short ribs just shred away into the meat, into the soup.
With some good mushrooms in there too.
Yeah.
Do you like mushrooms?
I like them raw, and I like them if it's kind of like broccoli. If mushrooms were in soup, I wouldn't mind because I know they bring a ton of flavor. Mm-hmm. So if they're like pureed into the soup or like, have just disappeared into the soup, I'm good. But if I'm bringing the spoon up to the mouth and I see a mushroom, I'll eat it, but I'm not going to be, not going to be. You won't flip the table. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to throw the soup away or anything. So, favorite soups. What can you put a favorite up there?
You know what?
There's so many to choose from. I don't know if I could put a favorite, but
chicken and dumpling is definitely up there if it's done right. A good chicken and wild rice, cream of. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Everything else that I had mentioned, I think, is up there. I didn't realize I liked soup.
Sour soup.
When you spend some time talking to somebody who's obviously well versed in the area of soup, which is mind blowing, the connoisseur of soup over there, the sultan of soup, so to speak. Man, I didn't realize I like soup as much as I did.
Well, I hope our listeners feel the same way, Jeff. I hope they realize, man, I think I'm having soup tonight.
Oh, and that's what I'm definitely having. I'm definitely having soup now.
If I were to rip off my top 3 favorites really quick, Zuppa Toscana, the Olive Garden soup. Oh, it's so good. Homemade chicken noodle soup and Campbell's tomato soup. Oh, that's my top 3 from the soup connoisseur, as you put it. Campbell's tomato soup's in my top 3.
It happens, it happens. We like weird? McDonald's chicken nuggets. Yeah, it's just that thing.
Hey, there's Campbell's just a level soup, of comfort. Some McNuggets and some Kraft mac and cheese, and I'm a happy boy.
Oh, wow.
We'd love to know what your favorite soup is. You know where to find us on social media if you've been listening to the Fresh and Uncooked podcast. It's Fresh Uncooked. Twitter, Instagram, Fresh Uncooked podcast over on TikTok, where you can find many soup recipes. Happy Thanksgiving, Jeff.
Yeah, same to you.
You do finish up some Thanksgiving leftovers, do a little online shopping, watch some football. It's a good time of year.
Probably go walk some of this off too.
Yeah, there's always next week for that though.
True.
A lot of football still. Thanks for listening to another episode of Fresh and Uncooked. Happy Thanksgiving. Till next week, Jeff.
Enjoy what you eat.